to In Depth with Academia. Richard Price of Academia DEDU, and I'm glad you're here with me today. You know, I always this of buzz when I get to dive into truly unusual, unexpected, or just plain fascinating academic work, and that's exactly what we've today. Today's episode is focused on a paper by Annie Wang called Cross-Cultural Parallel in Ancient Ritual Jade Objects, the Chinese Gai and Mesoamerican Celts. So, right off the bat, I want to remind you, I'm here to present research as neutrally possible, not to endorse her conclusions, draw any absolute answers. Academic research is all about ideas, right? Not delivering the truth, but just nudging our thinking and sparking curiosity. So what is this paper about? Basically, one core question is super intriguing. How is it that ancient China and faraway Mesoamerican cultures, separated by entire oceans and thousands of years, both ended up producing extremely similar objects out of jade? She's talking specifically about the Chinese jade gai, flat, blade-like ceremonial tablet dating to the Neolithic era, and its surprising double, the jade celts of the Olec and Maya. Objects look and function so similarly. How did that happen, and does it tell us about human nature culture more broadly? So let's dig the main points Wang brings up. First, she describes the Chinese gai. These elongated, flat, polished tablets, usually with a sort of tapered point and a hole drilled near the base. They go all the way to 3000 BCE and play a really important role in Chinese ritual. Think Shang and Zhou Dinis. Nobles or rulers would hold them during sacrificial ceremonies, official meetings, negotiations, or even when communicating with supernatural. The idea was that the gai symbolized order, virtue, and harmony between heaven and it was tied to rank, to authority. Holding one was literally a sign that you were aligned with these really deep, even spiritual principles. Now here's the fun part. Olmec and Maya cultures, thousands of miles away in now Mexico and Central, made jade celts are, like, remarkably similar. We're talking elongated blades, crafted from green jadeite, often with a hole at one end. The celts, just tools or weapons, they were of power, symbols of authority, status, maybe even links to fertility or to gods themselves. I'd see them in burials, ritual caches, maybe worn as pendants. The similarities in shape, use, and sacred material just, really jump out at you. This is where it digs into the big. How could these similar objects arise completely separate civilizations? Is there any chance the Chinese and Mesoamerican cultures were, secretly in touch, maybe passing jade or ideas across oceans? Some scholars have speculated about this, since both regions also use materials like a bar in ritual, but honestly, there's just no concrete evidence for direct contact. Instead, Wang leans into the concept of convergent evolution in culture. The idea is humans faced with similar needs, showing authority out to the supernatural, expressing hierarchy, all those things, might just end up creating similar solutions, even without meeting. Jade is tough, dazzling, rare, perfect material to carry massive symbolic weight, and an elongated, polished blade to hold, to gesture with, looks imposing, feels powerful. To digress for a moment, there's something really about a peel of beautiful, isn't there? Like collecting shiny rocks, jewelry showing up basically everywhere, even those lucky rocks found at the beach. Anyway, it makes you wonder, other material fixations pop up independently cultures, right? Okay, back to jade. Wang uses the rites from antiquity, archaeological context from Mesoamerica to show that these objects weren't just pretty. They mapped onto cosmological ideas, directions, relationships between humans, and here where she brings in something kind of the Zhouyi or I Ching, this ancient text of change, suggests seeing these parallels, celts echoing each other, reminds us that patterns keep coming up in human history, whether it's about ritual, hierarchy, or creative use of materials. To you, the listener, what does all this mean? First, a little nudge to stay curious. The world's connections. It's also a good reminder that when you see similar customs or objects in far-flung, it's not always about direct influence or borrowing. Sometimes it's just about universal human impulses showing up in remarkable parallel ways. Again, I want to emphasize, these aren't I'm not saying this proves X, Y, or Z. Annie Wang's work is part of a broader, never-finished about patterns in history and the way we humans express meaning. These papers exist to spark reflection, right? Not to deliver a final verdict. So, as always, for joining me on In Depth With, Peace Research, one angle, one possibility, not the last word. Keep exploring, keep thinking, and keep a lookout for those surprising parallels, whether they're in Jade, anywhere else in your life. See you next time.